This is from the new one, Snake Slayer. Hot as it is, I feel like I should be reading from Vernon the Heat, but here we go. Daria limped in tight jeans. She wore a jacket to cover the Snake Slayer. Her money was also in the jacket, crammed into two pockets. It was too early to be up, but she woke and had two coffees, and those boys still slept. She didn't move great, but she moved well enough. She just wanted to breathe air. The problem with the Oakland Hilton was its location. Good location for hiding, bad location for much of anything else. It was out toward the airport in those sorts of blocks. She strolled north because south was the airport, not much else. She saw the Diamond Sports Bar and Grill, where the food would probably be marginally better than at the hotel. Probably. The bar would be overpriced, of course. They always are. There'd be a real place to sit and eat, though. The hotel room, however nice, had no kitchen. A mini fridge, no stove, a tiny table to sit at, and good luck if there's more than one of you. There's a desk and a bed for the others, and the food and drinks were also overpriced. She walked into the Diamond, sat at a table, waited for a waitress. She noticed on one wall an autographed Jim Plunkett jersey. She didn't know who he was, but it looked like a football jersey, a Raiders jersey. The bar and grill part of the sign had caught her attention. She'd slid right past where it said sports. Jocks hated women, and she hated jocks. Simple as that. She almost got up and left, but a waitress came by and handed her a menu. If the waitress had been younger, more attractive, looked like she worked here out of desperation, Daria would have been sympathetic. But this woman, although retaining some looks, appeared to have gotten off a plane 20 years ago, destination Diamond Sports Bar and Grill. She was dark-haired and busty, forced a smile on her face and some politeness out of her mouth as she handed Daria a menu. Maybe that should merit sympathy. Daria didn't know, took the menu and thanked her, declined coffee, said she'd order a drink when she decided on food. She watched the waitress walk away, her ass in pretty good shape. She chatted with some of the older guys here on her way back to wherever she'd come from. Daria forgot her name. It had been part of the politeness. Daria hated fake politeness, fake anything, possibly including the waitress's tits. She looked at the menu, settled on nachos. There weren't many beers on tap to choose from, but the place had a widespread collection of bottles. She chose one just to wash down the nachos, of course, and set down the menu. It wasn't long before her waitress showed. Tired from a long flight, hun? She looked at the woman's name badge, half expecting it to say Madge. Instead, Charlene, the classy version of Madge. Just glad to be here, Charlene, Daria said. Real long flight. Where are you from? Shit, she'd made the mistake of starting a conversation with a woman who probably based what kind of tip she was going to make on how nice she was to the customers. Made sense, only Daria's idea of a nice waitress was one who brought her food fast. Boston, she said. But you ain't from there, are you? No trace of an accent. California native, Daria said. Now, excuse me, I have work. She pulled out her phone and ignored Charlene's friendly best wishes. Genuine or not, Daria just wanted her food. By now, she was itching for that beer, too. She saw no texts, figured they weren't up yet. It was up to them to text her first. The beer got plunked down in front of her. Food in a few, Charlene said. Thanks. Daria looked back at her phone, popped open an old text, and read it again. Charlene walked away. Nice when the magic worked. The magic of modern technology, making conversations disappear at a glance. She sipped at her beer. It tasted bitter, so she took a full drink. Much better, she'd chosen well, glad to be away from men despite those nearby tables and the macho feel of the place. So long as they stayed away from her, she could continue to live in this fantasy. Her nachos arrived and she ate. The best food she'd had in days. Chips, cheese, and a sour cream and jalapeno spread. She ate greedily, washed it down. Half the nachos remained when she waved to Charlene for another beer. By the time she finished the nachos, she felt bloated, figured one more beer would settle her stomach. If it didn't, there was always fresh air, which required walking. Turned out she preferred air in theory only. Charlene brought the beer, and as she walked away, one of the men from a neighboring table stepped over, pulled up a seat next to Daria. Mind if I join you? Looks like you already did. Christ, we're in nothing but a traveling circus. He took that for a witticism and smiled, set his own beer on her table. "You got that right," he said. He was tall, beefy, but starting to go to fat, his eyes a dull blue and his hair cropped. "Go away," she said. "You don't need to be rude. Just drink with me. Talk to me. You might like me. And that matters to you?" She took a drink, set the bottle down. "Needy son of a bitch, ain't you? You want to talk dirty?" Daria was getting drunk. She didn't need this shit. "What I want," she said, "is to drink in peace. Maybe you just want a shot, a real drink. Pick what you want. I'll buy. What's it cost for you to shut up and fuck off? Now listen, bitch. You listen, shitheel. I don't need a man to take care of me. I take care of myself." He scooted his chair closer to hers. "If you like girls, I'd pay to watch you and Charlene. I got money and I like men. Real men. Not fat, raider-loving assholes." "What?" "You heard me. Now get. No, you listen to me." She grabbed his beer and dumped it on his head, set the bottle down nice and neat. Laughter came from a nearby table. He stood fast. "Cunt." "Fuck you, prick. Go tell your mom." The man's face reddened. First time she'd enjoyed herself since he joined her. He picked up his bottle and swung it at her. She had her pistol out at the start of the swing, shot him in the gut. He dropped and the bottle flew. Not far. Didn't hit anyone near as she could tell. People screamed. Didn't know where to run. What to do. Daria set some 20s on her table and walked out, ducked around the first corner, called Vern. "Bring everything," she said. "We gotta get out of here. I just shot a guy. Get here quick. I'm around the corner from Diamond Sports Bar." Walking to the hotel.